Okay, Saturday, September 6th, 7 a.m. I've been hiking for just over an hour. Got up a little after 5 and then was on the trail just before 6. It was still dark. This is what I came upon this morning. There's Mount Shasta. Some pretty nice views here. So yesterday I didn't video. I got to a water source and then set up camp and ate and went to bed. I was fairly tired, I guess, but did just right around 16 miles. But I wanted to make sure I got a bunch of sleep because today there might be a water source at 7 miles. It doesn't sound positive, but the next one's 18 miles. So it's going to be, that'll be a long day. I wanted to make sure I got up early. And I think I have enough water, but I just have to be careful with it. So bumped into a whole bunch of hikers yesterday at the end of the day, including one. Her trail name was Pigpen, and she was from Peterborough, Ontario. She did half the trail in 2021, and she's doing the second half this year. And she's only 100 miles away from Chester. That's where she finished. So, and I've already bumped into a couple this morning. So the trouble with the trail yesterday and so far this morning, it's just thick underbrush. Thankfully, it's not the scratchy tear at your skin type, but still, it's irritating, slows you down, and you can't see well, and not fun really. But see if I can video some later. But this is kind of nice, especially in the morning. Every now and then, every now and then you get these traverses on these hillsides, and they're manageable. You just have to pay attention a little bit. But where they can be a bit more dangerous is in the spring when there's snow, because then it can be icy. Obviously, you really have to be careful, especially if you're not if you're the first guy through. These kinds of traverses are not uncommon, but I haven't seen one on this trip except for today. Just stopped for a little break. Something else that happened last night, it was kind of interesting. That you have to go down this old abandoned road about a quarter mile to where this spring is. They call it a piped spring, and to me that means like a 1 or 2 inch pipe, but when I got down there it's a culvert, which is fine. But now I have to make sure I filter the water, because who knows what's been in the culvert. Pipe springs, sometimes you can just drink right from them. So I set up my tent nearby. There's some tent sites, but man, were they dusty. Oh, awful. Clings to everything. It was terrible dust, but that's what it was. So I ended up pitching my tent, and then about 9 o'clock, a hiker came in very quietly, which was nice, and I'm sure he went and loaded up with water, and he set up a tent as well, about 50 yards away. Couldn't really hear him, but I could see his headlamp. So get back to sleep, and then at midnight, this huge crash. Something came crashing through the forest onto that road, and right near where I was hanging my bear bag, my ursack. So I didn't know what to think, but I did get up and check. And of course, when you have your headlamp and you look into the dark, you can see headlights. You can see eyes staring back at you, reflecting the headlamps. So once my eyes adjusted, I could tell it was a deer. Big one though. And he kind of wandered around for a little while after that. And then, so I went back to bed. I put the fly down because it got cloudy. And it actually did rain, but hardly at all. A few drops off and on for about an hour or so, I guess. When I got up in the morning, you couldn't tell it had rained at all. So that was kind of a little bit of excitement overnight. Of course, I didn't get as much sleep as I wanted, but And that's just part of being out here too. Okay, so trail took me to the other side of this hill, mountain, whatever it is. So this is looking east from the Pacific Crest Trail. All forest. And then as you get over here, you can just see Mount Shasta peeking over that hill. It's been pretty good so far this morning. A few ups and downs and some of those thickets, but I've definitely had worse. It gets a little bit larger the closer I get to it. Just about lunchtime, I'm trying to find a good spot to sit and have a bite to eat. And with that as a view, would be really, really ideal. Well, I found that view spot to have lunch. Bit breezy, but pretty nice spot. It'd be really nice without the breeze, but that's okay. And then for lunch, I tried something new again today. These walking tamales. Just the right amount of spice too. I like spice. It's pretty good. I'd have one of them again. Okay, so that's the direction I came from. I don't think I've shown any blowdown pictures, video this trip. This is one of the trickier ones I've had to deal with. There's a few you have to climb over. There's a few that trail workers have cut up, which is nice, but anyway, you end up with these once in a while, and it was a bit tricky. All right, so it's the end of the day on Saturday. 6 o'clock right now. I got to where I'm at about 45 minutes ago. This is kind of an old road, and then down this road is a creek, Gold Creek it's called. It's the place, so the last 18 miles, which is what I did today, there was a iffy spot at Moosehead Creek, whether or not that had water or not. Well, as it turns out, that had better water than this creek. So, not that it mattered much, I still would have had to make it after Moosehead. I would have had to come here. There was no other water. Going forward from here, starting tomorrow, about 3.5 miles from here is a spring, and then it's just a steady parade of springs, and the McLeod River is coming up. So it was tons of blowdowns. We made for a tough day, and I am filthy. I wanted to wash in the creek a little bit, but it's not much of a creek. So I won't be washing till tomorrow, probably at the McLeod River. But I had an interesting thing happen today, and you can put this in the Ripley's Believe It or Not file, I guess, because I've heard of this kind of thing before, but I have no idea if this is really what happened. Could have been a coincidence. But earlier today, I ran into a couple who were saying that there's been some bears here, and they could hear the bears crashing around in the underbrush. You can't see them. It's so thick that if they're in there, there's no way you could see them. So I paid attention. I thought, yeah, but she said multiple bears. Okay, maybe. But as I traveled along, a couple hours later, which was about 4 or 5 miles ago, I really wasn't paying much attention for bears anymore. And but I had seen some bear scat on the trail, and relatively fresh, like within the last day. So as I'm hiking along, there's this wide open area that I'm hiking through, and this bird flies over me. And it's like a crow, but it's not. I'm gonna have to look it up and find out what the breed is, or what it is. So it circled over me, and then it circled back over me really low, like it was maybe 5 or 6 feet above my head, and I looked up at it, you know, to watch it, and it was pretty cool to see. And then it's almost as if, okay, he saw that I saw him, and he turned around and flew straight down the trail to where I was headed. And sure enough, when I got to where that bird had flown over, there was a bear in there. As I got closer, I started making noise. I thought, well, you know, just in case, and was saying "shoo bear," and sure enough, something. I didn't see it, so I'm assuming it's a bear, but it probably had to be. Goes flying up the slope, crashing and banging, and you know, trying to get away. So weird or a coincidence? I don't know, but it makes for a good story, I think. So that's what happened today. I'm gonna have some supper, get some sleep, and make some more miles tomorrow. Okay, it's about 8 o'clock, Sunday, September 7th. Been hiking for about an hour. Full sun this morning on the trail. So that's the view I've got. Hazy, but looks pretty. Okay, there's more of that view. And about a minute ago, I just saw a bear down there running through that thicket. I could see him because I'm above him, but he must have heard me and then took off. Can't see him now, of course, but he's either slowed down or stopped moving. But I also had, again at midnight last night, an animal come by my tent, and I wasn't sure what it was, but I just woke up and yelled and flashed the light, and it took off, whatever it was. So could have been a deer, could have been a bear, I have no idea. But this definitely, what I just saw was a bear. So when someone asks, does a bear poop in the woods? No, he poops on the trail. So you see bear scat. This, I poked a hole in it. It's fairly fresh. I don't think it's probably within a day, my guess. Could have been that very same bear from before, who knows. But yeah, this is some nice terrain in here, actually. And I just came through that open area, which is where power lines are going through. So anyway, yeah, that's what the bear scat looks like on the trail. Okay, so I just came up from Deer Creek Spring. Water's coming right out of the ground, and Deer Creek starts here, I guess. And as I was coming up, heard a noise in the bush, and I'm thinking, uh-oh, but it was a mom and baby deer. So I guess they were going to check out their namesake spring. Okay, that was a doozy. There's no going around it, had to climb over it. Okay, I'm at a place called Ash Camp. It's a Forest Service campground, but it's not really a campground. There's sites, there's no tables. There's a pit toilet, and that's about it. I found a site, but I'm looking around for a different one because I just don't like the trees on that particular site. But anyway, Ash Camp is right beside the McLeod River. You can see down there. And I'm at mile 1472 and a half. Yeah. And there was, I think I did about 13 miles today. So not that much. It's only 3:30, so I'm debating whether I stay here or continue, because I could go a few more miles. But I'm leaning towards staying because there's proper tent sites, kind of. There's some people here right now. I don't know if they're staying or they're just fishing. So yeah, I'm leaning towards staying, give my body a rest after the last few days, because I know there's some hills coming tomorrow too, so get ready for that. So I did decide to stay at Ash Camp. Here's my tent. You might be able to hear the river in the background, and this particular site actually has a clothesline, so I'm airing out my sleeping quilt too, and I'm about to have some supper. So something I forgot to mention earlier, and I always forget something. I hiked all day, so from 7 in the morning till I got here, never saw a single person going either way. No southbounders, no northbounders, nobody, not a one. So interesting, unusual day as far as that goes.